This is our introduction to our unit Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Until this unit, we have focused on what an author is trying to convey and why that is important. In our Fahrenheit 451 unit, we are focusing more on how an author writes about a topic. This includes how it sounds, the emotional connections the reader can make, and the tone of the author. Style. By definition, it is the techniques used by an author to create his or her voice. Examples of ways style can be created include syntax, diction, and tone. Pause here to copy the definition and create words that help you describe style. Tone. Tone is the implied attitude of the author towards the audience, which is shaped by imagery, figurative language, and diction. It is not limited to these things, but these are the most prominent. An example of tone could be, "Go to your room," said your mother. In the blank, you could insert a word like frustrated or angrily or upset. Make sure when you are describing tone, it is an adjective. Pause here to copy the definition and describe tone in your own words. The difference between style and tone. In your journal, go ahead and open up to a new page. We're going to start our new unit, and you're going to make two columns, one with style words, one with tone words. The following are style words: stream of consciousness, narrative, disjointed, crisp, lyric, convoluted. Pause here to copy these words. If at any time you come across a word you do not know, please look it up. It is unfortunate to use words incorrectly when describing tone and/or style. In the other column on the page, you are going to create tone words. As with before, I will go through the list and then you will pause and copy them down. Our first tone word is sarcastic, intimate, malicious, jovial, whimsical, and reflective. Pause here to copy your words. Diction. This is the intentional word choice of an author. It is not sufficient enough to say that the author uses diction or good diction. That is essentially the same as saying the author uses words or good words. When you are describing diction, think about what part of speech should you use in conjunction with the word diction. Hopefully, you came to the word adjective. Always address the ideas of connotation and/or denotation when analyzing diction. On the next slide, we're going to do an example. Pause here to copy the definition. Connotation versus denotation. The picture below, I want you to think of, first of all, what is this a picture of? Some of you may have said a house. Some of you may have said a home. While both of you are correct, which word has the connotation related to warmth, safety, and love? That is home. This picture with these two words is the perfect example of connotation versus denotation. Using house or home to describe a place has a very different meaning, and it's always important to pay attention to the intentional words an author is using. Right. Here are our definitions for connotation and denotation. Our connotation is the emotion associated with the word. Our denotation is the dictionary definition. To keep the two terms straight, it's important to remember denotation starts with a D, so does dictionary. Pause to copy your definitions. What other aspects of language help determine style and tone? This is what we are going to explore next. We are going to study style without reading Fahrenheit yet. Why did the chicken cross the road? This is a joke you've heard before. You're going to read the following answers to the classic chicken joke in order to appreciate the different styles in which they are written. Note diction, sentence length and structure, and imagery and tone. Annotate the responses, and then write an analysis of their style in the space to the right. Machiavelli. So that its subjects will view it with admiration as a chicken which has the daring and courage to boldly cross the road, but also with fear, for whom among them has the strength to contend with such a paragon of avian virtue. In such a manner is the princely chicken's dominion maintained. This is Machiavelli's response to why did the chicken cross the road. I'm now going to show you my annotation after you have paused to annotate for yourself. Pause here. My annotation contains things like sentence structure, word choice, and rhetorical strategies. So let's start with the underlined bolded terms. View it with admiration, but with also fear. We have these two opposing ideas that are kind of parallel structure in a way, but make us very reflective. We have the words daring, courage, and boldly that create this diction of strength and conquest, like there's an adventure. And then we have the terms in yellow, paragon of avian virtue and chicken's dominion maintained. These are much more academic in nature. So in keeping with this, I have my annotation here. We have our tone, which is scholarly. It sounds like a teacher is talking. All right, how does it do that? Primarily our phrases like paragon of avian virtue, chicken's dominion maintained. Then we have our style, which is very formal. Do we see how scholarly and formal are related? You can't be one without the other. Tone helps to build style. That is how we come to our conclusion. For the next few slides, I'm going to read you the passage. You are going to pause and annotate, then move to the next. Howard Cosell. It may very well have been one of the most astonishing events to grace the annals of history, an historic, unprecedented avian biped with the temerity to attempt such a Herculean achievement formerly relegated to Homo sapien pedestrians is truly a remarkable occurrence. Pause here for annotation. Ernest Hemingway, To Die in the Rain, Alone. Pause here to consider tone and style. Oscar Wilde. Why indeed, one's social engagements whilst in town ought never expose one to such barbarous inconvenience, although perhaps if one must cross a road, one may do far worse than to cross it as the chicken in question. Pause here for annotation. Dr. Seuss. Did the chicken cross the road? Did he cross it with a toad? Yes, the chicken crossed the road, but why it crossed, I've not been told. After you've paused for annotation, you are going to look at my analysis of Dr. Seuss's response. Pause here. My response is Dr. Seuss's lyrical style is developed primarily through rhyming and a playful tone. Responding to questions with exclamation points reinforces those ideas. So in my annotation, I would have marked things like it is a rhyme scheme of A. We would have had the repetition of did the chicken, did he cross? We have alliteration with chicken cross. We also have two questions responded with two exclamation points. Remember, punctuation is important when you're considering style and tone. Next slide. You are now going to choose one of the passages that we did not go over together and write a description of the tone and style like I did for Dr. Seuss. Make sure to do more than identify what the tone and style are, but explain how they were created. You are not limited to the words on your list. The next slide has more choices for you to add. In your journal, go back to your style and tone words. We are going to add a few more to each list. Remember, you are still not limited to just these words. Ornate, economic, vivid, Shakespearean, terse, circuitous. Pause to record the words. Tone words: sincere, melancholy, quizzical, indignant, earnest, objective. This is the end of our presentation. You may fast forward and rewind as needed. Thank you.